Welcome to Fi's Film. Today we will explain the 2014 dark fantasy adventure film Maleficent. Warning, this video contains spoilers. Enjoy! The movie starts with two competing kingdoms seated side by side. The human kingdom, governed by a ruthless ruler, and the Moors, a tranquil region populated by many kinds of supernatural beings. Maleficent, a young fairy girl with gigantic wings who lives among the Moors and serves as a protector for the other magical beings, is one of their inhabitants. In the next scene, while Maleficent was joyfully greeting everyone around the region of Moor, the three tiny fairies named Knotgrass, Flittle, and Thistlewit inform young Maleficent that a thief has been caught by the forest guards at the Moor's boundary. Maleficent worries and flies to the Pool of Jewels. When she arrives at the Pool of Jewels, she meets a human youngster by the name of Stefan. The burglar gives back the jewel he had taken and says that he is an orphan with no true family. He received Maleficent's pardon, and the two became closer and closer each day. On Maleficent's 16th birthday, Stefan gives her a true love's kiss, but eventually leaves her behind to chase his lust for power in the king's inner sanctum. Now, Maleficent is fully grown. She serves as the Moor's main protector. One day, while she was sitting on a cliff, she saw King Henry's army marching towards the Moor's kingdom. King Henry leads his army to drive out of the Moors for the benefit of humanity. But Maleficent successfully repels the attacks with her army of magical beings. King Henry loses his life in the conflict, and it is well known that he despises the winged woman who stands up for the Moors. King Henry, while lying on his deathbed, only has a daughter as an heir, offers her hand in marriage and the throne to whichever of his soldiers can prove Maleficent's demise. Stefan accepts the challenge in the hopes of succeeding Maleficent as the new king, despite their romantic bond. In the evening, Stefan returns to the Moors and meets up with Maleficent, who is delighted. Stefan gets ready to knife her to death after giving her a drink to put her to sleep. He can't bring himself to kill the lady once he loved, so as she sleeps, he clumsily takes off her wings. When Maleficent awakens, she swears vengeance on Stefan while feeling weak from the pain of her damaged wings. At the palace, Stefan offered the wings to King Henry as a sign of Maleficent's defeat. King Henry gives Stefan the crown and his daughter's hand, as he takes the wings as evidence of Maleficent's defeat while he is on his deathbed. Maleficent, who has lost her ability to fly, releases a captive raven from a nearby field and grants him the ability to change into a man. In return for saving his life, she hires Diavol, a raven man, to act as her wings. She claims to be the Moor's monarch, infusing her surroundings with evil magic and putting Stefan, the ruler of the human kingdom, to rest once and for all. One day, Diavol overhears the royal attendants discussing the newborn girl that the king and queen just had while spying on Stefan's palace. Maleficent, seeing a chance for vengeance, is informed quickly about the newborn baby. King Stefan is having a party to celebrate the christening of his daughter Aurora, and Maleficent shows up and announces to the baby's christening and places a curse on the princess. Before Princess Aurora becomes 16, she will prick her finger on a spinning wheel and lapse into an ethereal sleep akin to perpetual death. Stefan is further insulted by Maleficent's snarky statement that true love's kiss is the only way to bring life back to the world. Maleficent set this curse because she does not believe in true love, eventually killing the young princess. Stefan begs Maleficent to change her mind and even kneels at her pleading, but she is too overjoyed at having avenged her injustice. Maleficent builds a huge wall of densely thorned trees to enclose the Moors and keep humanity at a distance after she throws the court into disarray. In an effort to escape the curse, Stefan sends his young daughter to be raised by the three forest fairies and gives the order to destroy all spinning wheels in the kingdom. The princess is protected by Maleficent's curse, which mandates that she must live until her 16th birthday. Throughout Aurora's early years, Maleficent and Diavol keeps an inconspicuous eyes on her, occasionally making contact but never revealing who she is. With no knowledge of her royal ancestry or the curse of Maleficent, Aurora develops into a lovely teenager. Stefan's worry increases as Aurora's 16th birthday approaches. He is aware that the queen is ill and that Maleficent will appear on the day the curse is supposed to end. He becomes more paranoid and having rambling conversations with the wings, and turning a deaf ear to all but Maleficent. Before Aurora's birthday, he assigns his men to track her down. Maleficent starts to acknowledge that she does not hate Aurora as much as she does Stefan. Maleficent realizes that Aurora is a good, innocent person who is undeserving of such a cruel fate after letting go of the blind fury she had when the princess was a newborn. She casts a brief sleep spell on the girl and takes her into the moors out of guilt. When Aurora awakens, she is delighted with the lovely fairyland and exhibits no fear when Maleficent appears. Aurora cheerfully says that she recognizes Maleficent and considers Maleficent to be her fairy godmother. Maleficent spends the evening getting to know the victim of her own curse without revealing the truth. Maleficent tries to undo the curse after sending Aurora to her cottage home to sleep, but she has made it too powerful to undo. Maleficent speaks with Aurora on the eve of her fatal birthday without an evil from which she is powerless to protect her. Aurora maintains her optimism and expresses her desire to live in the moors with her fairy godmother. As she prepares to tell her aunties, she runs into Prince Philip, who asks her for directions, though both are awkwardly surprised by their mutual love. Maleficent and Diabo saw their interactions and began hoping that Prince Philip will be the solutions to break the spell. Aurora presents her news to the fairies, who, shocked, reveal Aurora's true origin and the facts of Maleficent's curse. Aurora, terrified, hurries to the moors to confront Maleficent, who sadly discloses the truth. Aurora, now terrified and distrusting, returns to the human kingdom. Princess Aurora is eventually returned to her father that night. They have a brief emotional reunion before Stefan locks his daughter up for her own safety. Maleficent prepares a last-ditch effort to break the spell in the moors. She and Diabo makes their way to the palace, where they meet Prince Philip, who recalls seeing Aurora and is hired to administer true love's kiss to save her. Maleficent bestows a sleeping enchantment on the befuddled prince and whisks him away into the woodland in the hope of reaching Aurora before the curse takes effect. Aurora feels an odd sensation in her finger as her birthday approaches and night falls, and she hears an uncanny voice calling her name. Aurora follows the disembodied speaker around the palace in a trance-like state until she discovers the basement, which contains mounds of broken and charred spinning wheels. She approaches a spinning wheel and spindle that has materialized and pricks her finger on it, drawing blood. She falls asleep on the floor a few moments later. Aurora is brought back to her chambers and placed on the bed. Stefan is furious, accusing the three fairies of failing to safeguard his daughter. Maleficent and Diabo infiltrate the palace with the unconscious Prince Philip, who is awoken at the door of Aurora's bedroom. The three fairies guarding the sleeping princess push Philip to try to wake Aurora with true love's kiss, but the endeavor fails because the two are not yet in love. Stefan receives word that Maleficent has been spotted in the castle and commands his armies to capture her. When Maleficent leaves Aurora's room, the royal guards ambush her and attack. Maleficent instructs Aurora to flee before changing Diabo into a massive dragon and begins her battle with Stefan. Aurora discovers the torn wings in the glass cupboard while seeking for something to help Maleficent. When the wings sense their mistress's presence, they begin to flap frantically until Aurora frees them. Maleficent's wings fly to her and reattach themselves to her, and Maleficent regains her strength. Maleficent rises above her pursuer, but Stefan clings to a chain wrapped around her leg as she pulls him out of a window onto one of the palace towers. Maleficent tries to finish the fight without killing anyone, but Stefan doesn't stop. He assaults her again, sending them both plunging from the tower. Maleficent flees, and Stefan dies as a result of his own relentless thirst of power and vengeance. In the end, Maleficent quickly undoes the black spell in the moors, returning its former light and beauty. Aurora has been crowned queen of both the moors and human kingdoms. Maleficent, finally free of the chains of her hateful thoughts, lives blissfully among the gentle creatures of the moors and soars happily through the skies with Diabo. The end.